Okay, we have the green bars, we have the live counters ticking up, so we should now be live, which of course means welcome back to the Storytime network. It is of course Sunday, and therefore we have a D&D session to play in. Sakado, take us away.
So, left our heroes. Aldane, the half-elf paladin. Seamus, the half-elf bard. Dairon, the Genasi rogue, and Felix, the Eladrin painter. The four of you, along with Rua, were had a long and fun, a long and interesting chat at the hot springs, talking about stuff that'll eventually be upcoming, just trying to wind down as well. And yeah, it was very nice. After that was done, Akhrua brought you to basically come with him, and he brought you along to this river where up ahead would be a waterfall, with the idea that each of you would be going on your own and meditating under it. I believe, if I'm correct, Dairon and Rua were the only two to fail.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
With Aldane, Seamus, and Felix able to achieve some sort of meditation. Whether that took a few minutes to do so, or immediately, it didn't really matter. But after that was done, Akhrua brought you back into the dojo and was basically showing you about how to potentially go beyond the base limitations of what you can do.
Plus Ultra?
Hero has broken so many brains.
With
Brain rot.
with things such as Akhrua making Aldane basically do a level 4 smite before he even has the spell slots to do so. Seamus, for a brief period, was able to hold concentration on 2 spells. Felix was able to actually do a second racial misty step. Dairon was able to vaguely sense the energy of a few of the people in the group. And Rua was... So it's a bit harder with Rua. You don't really get the point of what Akhrua is having him do. But it ultimately ended up with Rua basically firing one of his overdrive beams at Akhrua in a beam clash. The first time, they were kind of not necessarily evenly matched, but Rua wasn't as in trouble as the second time they attempted it, as it got to the point where the rest of you actually needed to stand behind him to make sure he wasn't pushed away. But in the end, you're all knocked back anyway. But Akhrua's arms were actually mangled from the resulting beam clash. Throughout the fighting, though, some of you noticed, the training, I should say, especially more specifically with Aldane, as he was hitting Akhrua with smites, some of you noticed, around the time that he was just about to be impacted with an attack, he would effectively, maybe not cast a barrier, but he was at least managing to mitigate the damage to his body the attacks were doing. And it's something you kind of picked up on during the fight, during the sparring you had with him, I should say. But it was hard to really pay much mind to it in that heat of the moment. So, we come back in, and yeah, so all of you are considered prone, as you are on the floor after that thing happened. Akhrua, as he's kind of like walking over to you, you can see his hands are quickly healing over, going back to their normal, proper appear, you know, just looking undamaged. And he looks happy. You can see him smiling. Perfect. Well, like I said before, this isn't necessarily going to be stuff that you can do before you fight Black Crane, but it can at least be stepping stones for future potential. And so, as you sort of like get onto your feet, Akhrua basically, how do I describe this? He pretty much instructs you all with doing some basic exercises. Nothing too intensive, just because of the... Because bearing in mind, this is still the same day as the other stuff you were doing just last session. And also the sparring. So, what I want you all to do is to give me... all of you give me a Constitution, a Dexterity... Actually, we'll just do this from up and down. So give me a Strength, Dexterity, and Constitution check. Not a saving throw.
Right.
As he's basically going to have you all do exercises.
A con check?
Yeah.
Just straight con, not con save?
Yep, no saves.
Okay.
Strength, Dex, Con, and...
Strength, Dex, Con.
Your crew
Get the
physical
worst one out of the
stats.
way first. Yep. Dex. Hell yeah. Con.
No one's doing great on strength right now.
Shame
I like
it's
to-
Dex.
I'd like to think you're all just physically tired. Like, it's just hard for you to muster up the physical strength to do it.
Like Akhrua.
Oh wait, this is Akhrua's scores. But Akhrua did shit as well, what the fuck? Wait, why is it there? Now, I'll re-roll for Rua. Oh my fucking god. It's fine, we're getting the bad rolls out of the way.
Sounds about right.
So, what he has you basically doing is... he has you doing a few push-ups, a few, like, jogs across the room, and just other bits of, like, exercise like that. You can see as he's, like, keeping an eye on each of you as you're doing your things. And as you basically, like, sit around him after all of that exercising, he gives you a moment to have a rest, as he will leave to get you the next meal for the day. So the five of you are just alone in the dojo, as you're all feeling very tired after all of that exercising. Did any of you...
A whole day?
Yeah. This is the kind of stuff I was doing when I was going through my rehab with my arm.
So you're used to it.
I mean, we have been doing other stuff throughout the day, so I'm just physically tired like the rest of you all are.
I'm just giving you a hard time. You know how it goes.
Well, I mean, from what I could tell, just seeing him watching us, he seemed to be... What's the word?
Tempering
Pleased?
yourself.
No, I'd say he's more pleased with where we're at already.
I mean, honestly, the fact that we were able to knock him, you're unconscious already in bed.
You're coming a bit in and out again, just to let you know.
Sorry, I was just saying, you know, we were able to actually, you know, knock him to out So
Yeah. True. That was good to know, especially because I did spar with him again when it was just me and him. Obviously, it was very different because, you know, for one, at the time I had one arm, and also I was weaker than I was then as well. And I was also on my own. I know he's the kind of person, though, that likes people who can fight back. He doesn't like fights where... how do I describe this? He doesn't enjoy fights where he's just curb stomping people.
I mean, who would?
You'd be
Sadist?
surprised.
I mean, that's a very specific thing, though.
Some people like pushing and bullying people about.
Yeah, but that's a sex thing. I don't count that.
I'm not even meaning sex, I just mean some people don't like people who can fight back. Some people can
In
get
general.
really pissy. Some people can get really pissy when it turns out they actually are close to their level.
Sure, Eben will be gracious in his defeats.
I wouldn't be surprised if he has some sort of magical fail-safes.
Oh, I'd be disappointed if he did. If he didn't.
According to my granddad, he's already met several people who've had mutually assured destruction fail-safes. Turns out a lot of people are poor losers.
I mean, depending on what your goals are.
Well, who knows? All we can do is cross that bridge when we get to it with regarding Eben.
Mm-hmm.
I'm honestly more worried about the cults in that regard. Because they're at least unified under a principle together, whereas Eben is very much about himself.
As it turns out, cults tend to have a very easy time establishing a united front.
Well, yeah, it's one of those. Like, it's easier for people to continue, even if their leader is dead, as long as the group isn't just formed around the leader. Who knows, Eben dying might actually mean a lot of his kids will just give up, because it means they don't have to be under his rule. With the cult, though...
Well, I
it would be very
understand
hard.
that.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I understand that. I do worry that Eben very specifically has true believers in his camp.
I mean, yeah, but the thing is, like... How do I describe it? It will probably be easier to stop them than it would be the humans in the cult, because a lot of the members in the cult will also have Tarascified themselves. And they're just innately more dangerous. Like, Eben's wing is obviously bad because it's under a ancient black dragon, but to me at least, how do I describe it? There's no other ancient black dragon that could continue what he is doing. Whereas there's an argument to be made that as long as there will always be humans, the cult could still continue.
The cult.
So he's actually a realistic person to defeat and once and for all, as it were.
I mean, like Daron said, there will still definitely be true believers, but none of them will be able to continue the exact thing he is doing. None
Yeah,
of them presumably have that magical power that they could go for all of this ritual shit and, like, you know,
the
have a
closest
sibling.
the closest could be Testament, but that's about it.
And even then, he ultimately wasn't even. He was looked over as the vessel for Eben by Kuro.
Right.
So, and we don't know the exact difference in potential. It might be that the sheer difference between the two makes it so that Kuro just absolutely blows Testament out of the water. Or it might be a slight difference. Which, again, we won't know until we get to that point. Although, from what my granddad could sense when he saw Testament at the summit, he's strong. His words about it, I mean, is that he considered Testament strong, but nothing that would be unrealistic to stop.
Well, that's good.
But that was months ago. Who knows? Maybe Testament has leveled up a bit since then.
Could be.
I mean, I doubt it, personally. It's not like he's been going on these kinds of adventures like we have.
Yeah, but keep in mind, if Eben is as paranoid as I'm assuming him to be, why wouldn't he train Testament up as the failsafe in case they can't find Drake before whatever deadlines?
I mean, because obviously I knew about Kuro before all of this happened, but from what he could tell, he told me that, especially because Eben is an ancient black dragon, he could just simply try for another if Kuro, for example, died and he decided Testament wasn't enough. Because he could just simply outlive us all if he really wanted to. You know, he could just wait a few centuries until we all die of old age and then try again.
Yeah, as cowardly as that is, there is a certain pragmatism to it.
I mean, that's generally what a lot of the... How do I describe this? I don't want to sound racist towards dragons. It's just that they often have, according to Oryx, a predisposition to certain behaviors. You know, there's certain kinds of dragons that are a lot more open to confrontation. There are some that are a lot more scheming or sociable. And from what I know of black dragons, they generally are more... What's the word? They engage in stuff like spying and will... What's the word? They're a lot more nastier and vindictive compared to some of the other dragons.
Makes sense.
I mean, we can at least be happy that, you know, we're not dealing with,
Ancient Red.
Yeah. Well, an Ancient Red would probably be too proud to even want to gain this kind of power.
For an Ancient Green.
So, before Rua can reply, Akhrua does actually walk in with a tray of food, and you see a few, what appears to be unseen servants with trays of food themselves. There's a tray of food for himself and one for each of you as well. The food this time that he's brought to you is, how do I describe this? A curry.
Yep.
You see a bowl of curry. Next to it is some mixed rice with what appears to be, based on the smell of it, a few pieces of garlic naan. And he kind of sits with you all. Sorry to listen in, I could just hear it from you guys talking. But from what I know of dragons, at least, green dragons are generally more... Surprisingly, they're a lot more like what Eben would be.
Craftier, sneakier.
Yeah, green dragons are generally the schemers. They like to play on each other's, play on people's weaknesses.
So what you're saying is that it's surprising that Evan is the way he is?
Yeah. Generally, black dragons are a lot more cruel, like tyrants.
I mean...
Whereas a red dragon might scorch the earth, the black dragon might keep it around to have as slaves. And blue dragons are often overlords. They often will be things like... how do I describe it? They often like having minions who are generally powerful. So in another world, if Eben was a blue dragon, he probably would have wanted to recruit you guys as, direct commanders, I guess you could say. Whereas Eben kind of breeds his children for shock troopers, a blue dragon would probably breed children and carefully make sure they're actually of value to him. And Akhrua just shrugs. Not sure why, it's just... yeah. And of course you've already dealt with a white dragon. They're generally more, primal.
Raw fury, yeah. Lean into that force of nature a bit.
I mean, every dragon is a force of nature, but I guess... how do I describe it?
It's the difference between an explosion and a hurricane.
Yeah, that's a good approximation. All of you actually give me a religion check.
Ooh, that's one we don't use very often.
I don't think any of us are proficient.
None of you are. So, all of you know that... how do I describe this? You know there are two gods of dragons. You know Pludral, which is the god of balance, and he was considered the progenitor of the metallic dragons, which are all the more good-aligned dragons. Gold,
I know, I'm
bronze...
smiling. You can't see it, but I'm smiling.
You know, gold, bronze, brass, copper, silver. You aren't very familiar with the god that presides over the metallic dragons? The chromatic, sorry. Apart from Aldane, let me find the exact name of the god of the evil dragons. So, so the name of the god... So, Aldane, you remember hearing what the name might be? And I will type it out into the Roll20 chats. They are known as Rygar. They are known to be a multi-headed dragon, one head for each colour of the chromatic dragon that came from them, meaning they
So
have
kind of similar to Tiamat then.
Yeah, this is basically so because in actual D&D, Tiamat would be the progenitor of the chromatics.
Yes, and Bahamut would be the metallics.
Yeah, it's just this setting's interpretation of Tiamat and Bahamut. You also remember, Aldane, that while Pludral's domain is balance, surprisingly enough, Rygar's domain is order.
Sounds to me like a tyrannical type thing.
Yeah, I mean, Akhrua does actually respond, yeah, that's exactly what Rygar generally is. They believe in, what's the word? It's, yeah, like a tyrant. It's order, but it's not exactly with good intentions. From what I've heard, Akhrua does add, I believe there was originally a third dragon. But I don't know about that one. Sorry. It's also
Pay here
not...
for expansion.
What's that?
Pay here for the gem dragons.
Hmm.
Oh boy.
Yeah, imagine that. So, as you all eat your food, give me a Constitution saving throw.
Yeah, boy.
Oh god, it's spicy, isn't it?
Yes.
No! I'm lost in the sauce.
Seamus, you take this much in fire damage. You take 4 fire damage as your tongue is burnt.
I forgot to ask, did we have a long rest between the last session and now, or no?
No.
No.
Okay, so, okay.
This curry is very spicy. As you take the first bite, Seamus, not only are you already coughing, you're sweating and your eyes beginning to water, and you feel your nose running.
Amazing.
For you, Felix, and Dairon, as well as Rua, the two of you, this is the good shit. It's really spicy, but it's clearly made in such a way where the rest of the food works with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is one of them, even though it hurts, it's a good kind. Like the thrill from a roller coaster.
Mm.
For you, Aldane, it's lovely, but you're having to brace yourself every time you put this food into your mouth. Like, occasionally you find yourself about to bite into it, it's like, oh, should I? And then you're like, should I do less of a forkful of this curry? But everyone but Seamus, all of you gain, let me see here. For 24 hours, you gain 10 temporary hit points.
Okay.
So who all gains the temporary hit points?
Everyone but Seamus.
Everyone but Seamus.
Woot woot. Sorry, Seamus.
Fucking terrible.
The only thing Well, you can be sure the only thing that isn't fucking terrible is the curry, because it is really good.
Yeah, Seamus should have taken the spice better.
I hate all of you.
I procured some of the peppers from across Pahala.
Can I roll a sleight of hand put more to like sneak more onto Seamus' plate
Yeah, go for it.
to make it seem like he hasn't made a dent at all?
Remember, my passive perception is absurdly high.
Yeah, Seamus, you notice it immediately.
Dairon, quit being a dick.
Felix is going to do the same.
Roll sleight of hand.
Damn it.
Abysmal. Felix.
Yeah,
Are you kidding me?
You say abysmal, it's better than what Dairon rolled.
Still. Are you
yeah.
guys kidding me?
I'd roll
Yeah.
sleight of hand, but my dex is awful. So.
Why are you guys moving it onto his plate? You should be wanting to eat more of this. This slaps.
Oh, we're just being dicks.
But, as you eat it, Akhrua does nod and say, I'll try to make it less spicy next time. I'm used to making this for the orphanage. All the kids there love this. But, you know, has its own interesting implications. He's giving this to children.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
While you're in here, I'm making sure that you eat well and you can rest well. Part of the reason why I'm only doing 6 months, if I've not already said before, is because training doesn't really matter if you can't actually get the experience to utilize what you've trained with. It's why I don't believe that if Testament has gotten stronger, there's not much for Testament to really train with. Unless he's making search parties into the Black Death Swamp, there's not many avenues of opportunities for him to become better. Meanwhile, you guys have travelled all over the land. You fought all sorts of dangerous people and creatures, and that counts for a lot. It also helps that you guys have something to fight for, unlike Testament and the rest of them. After a few moments, where you are finishing off your food, eventually, once it's done, Akhrua gives you a brief reprieve to let your food settle before eventually going through some more exercises. We're actually going to be skipping a few, quite a bit of time ahead. During this time, I want, and I'll do this in order so that we're not rolling over each other. Mill.
Yeah?
Give me give me 2 strength checks, 2 dexterity checks, 2 constitution checks, and let me see. Give me 2 wisdom checks as well.
Alright.
We'll do this first. Okay. Mm-hmm.
And then 2 wisdom. Wow. Considering my wisdom is a flat roll, that's not bad.
A lot of 15s.
Yeah.
And a couple of 13s. Okay, next, I want you to give me any attack roll that you want to roll, but it has to be an actual attack roll, so not like a saving throw.
Yeah.
This can be Fireball, it could be Shadow Blade, anything you want to roll that you feel the most confident in rolling.
Let's go Shadow Blade.
And again. Okay, so for the next month and a half, you are actually taking to the training surprisingly well. It was tricky at first, just because you're not used to someone really, like, pushing you like this. Like, if you thought the training you would have had when you were young, back in Tenno-Yama, was tough, this, like, blows it out of the water.
I'm gonna say, in, like, character thing, obviously I don't want to hold it back too much, but Felix would have been a little sort of leery of going all out in this training because of his past, but eventually, you know, came round to it.
Mm-hmm. But yes, by the end of this bit of training, you're taking to it really well. It's getting to a point where you're almost forgetting, like... You're almost getting to the point where it almost doesn't feel like... It almost feels like you're doing less than what you were doing before, if you get what I mean. Like, you're so used to it, it feels like, well, why... You know, this isn't anywhere near as hard as it used to be. I must be doing less. Like... next, Aldane, give me the same. Give me 2 strength, 2 dex, 2 con, 2 whiz, and 2 attack rolls.
Strength. Doot. Heck. Why am I doing better on dex than on strength?
You're a dex paladin, right?
I am very much not. Wisdom.
And then 2 attack rolls.
Oh. Dang it.
So, you are a bit... It's actually... Maybe it's because you're not as nimble as the rest of your colleagues, your friends. So it's really tricky to get used to this kind of training that Akhrua's doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's very much not anything like you would have been trained in Cordis. You are getting better at it. You do notice a clear progression, but it's not as immediate as, say, maybe Felix is. But again, you and Felix, for example, fight very differently, so it's to be expected. Dairon, give me the same, please.
Okay. Yep, that's about what I expected there.
Rip.
Doing great. Oh, that's intelligence, sorry.
Yeah, I wanted you to... Oh, no, yeah, I didn't want you to do intelligence.
There we go. At least something.
And then 2 attack rolls. Could even be Shocking Grasp if you wanted. Okay, so... You find yourself really struggling with the physical exercise portion of the training. Like... Because, for example, some of the stuff that you'd be doing... do you remember the training that, like, Roshi would have done with Goku and Krillin? Yes. It's stuff like that, like, not necessarily milk bat boxes, but stuff of that kind. And it's funny because again, it's stuff that you haven't really had to do in your gang, like the kind of stuff he's having you do, and so you're kind of not used to it. There are bits that you definitely excel at, but there are things that you are, there's clear strengths and weaknesses, which isn't a bad thing. Seamus, same as well. 2 strength, 2 dex, 2 con, 2 wisdom, and 2 attack rolls.
Said 2 strength, 2 dex,
Yep.
2 con.
Yep.
And 2 attack.
2 wisdom first.
2 wisdom. I'm not very wise. And then for the attack roll, what should I do? Just like...
Any attack roll you want. Could be Eldritch Blast, it could be a weapon.
I think my best...
I will say, for your attack rolls, this doesn't necessarily calculate modifiers.
Okay. Well, one of them's a nat 19.
So, it's interesting because similar to Felix, there are parts of it that you're also getting quite easily. There is still the physical exercise portion, similar to, like, Dairon, and, like, Felix would have also been struggling to some degree with the physical exercise bit. But, like, I'd say in terms of the best results, it's Felix, you, then Dairon and Aldane are kind of tied for different reasons. But, yeah, over the course of the month and a half, Seamus, you are also getting it pretty easily. It's similar to Felix, where, again, the kind of training you would have been given as a child is kind of nothing compared to what Akhrua is having you do. Like, a lot of the time, when you're all going to bed, you're going to bed exhausted. Like, he's not pushing you past the point where you can't endure anymore. He's knowing where your limits are, and he's not, like, forcing you to, like, nearly break bones or anything. But he's very much making you work for this. And I'm going to have Rua do his rolls. Okay. Alright. So, Rua's also picking it up very quickly. There are a few bits where he stumbles on some of the bits of the training. Part of the thing all of you would be doing, in between some of you doing your general exercises, he would be taking each of you aside and having you spar with him, which is the purpose of the attack rolls. Which is why it's really funny that, because again, most of these rolls are actually averages. It's not, 12 and then a 15 means you start off well and end badly. You're all actually getting pretty good when it comes to sparring with him one-on-one. Like, he's definitely not going all out like he did towards the end of that main sparring session you had.
Yeah.
But it's getting to a point where you're kind of catching up when he's trying a bit. Like, when he's actually going really quickly, you're beginning to, like... How do I describe it? In sometimes, you might notice, or you might barely be able to catch where he's moving, but that doesn't necessarily mean you can do anything about it. And there are times where, if not by luck, then who knows, maybe it's just down to your genuine skill, but there are times where you're able to do stuff like parry his attacks or dodge, And yeah, it gets to the point where, again, by the end of this month and a half, you're all doing very well. You can clearly tell you can definitely feel the approval he has for you. Throughout this training anyway, he's making sure to, like, goad you into continuing, like, to keep going. Like, when you're succeeding, he's praising you. And even when you fail, he's not, like, kicking you down about it. And And yeah, like as things go along, you're already like you start to feel a lot better with like the exercise, the meditation, the combat stuff. You can definitely already feel yourselves having a big improvement already in just different areas. How do I describe it? So, once that 1.5 month passes, he gathers you all in the dojo, talks you all. So, I've been keeping track of your progress throughout this, and you are doing exceptional, all of you. There are bits where you could all afford to improve in, but that's not the point. The point is, what you are doing good in, you are very much impressing me in. And there's nothing wrong with failing here and there at stuff. You know, I don't expect any gestures to you, Aldane, to be able to walk on tightropes with the grace of Dairon. Just like I don't expect Dairon to be able to, like, hold back a horse charging at you. Like Aldane probably could.
Hmm.
But what I want to do now is to have another spar, like we did when we started this. This time, I'll be using all of my abilities from the get-go, but I'll be easing into them. We're also going to have a clear stopping point that isn't when either you all get knocked out or I get knocked out. So, I'm gonna, as the GM, draw an area with which you can all choose to stand in before the fight. That's the wrong pen. Here we are. So, you can choose to stand anywhere in here before the fight begins. Trying to find the appropriate battle music that I want to use. This isn't it. You know what? I like this one. Here you go for the music. Let me... Where is it now? Turn order. And yeah, roll initiative, fellows. Rua did really bad.
So did Dairon.
Where's my token? There it is.
Well, par for the course for all day.
Oh boy.
None of us are ready for this.
So Akhrua is going to get 3 shotters before we get to do anything.
Wait, we didn't even get a long rest before this.
No, we did. It's been a month and a half.
Month and a half has passed.
No long rests though. Like we've been going the whole time, right? No, I'm
Yeah.
kidding.
Oh yeah, true. I forgot. Yeah, you've not had any. You've barely just had enough sleep to not die.
Yeah, we're at exhaustion level 5. It's the whole thing.
Yeah. That'd be so fucking funny, actually.
Be fucking awful.
Mm-hmm.
Real slave driver.
So wait, we don't really have any buffs though. Not anything crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, now that it's Akhrua's turn, I want to start with something spicy.
Okay.
Oh god. Seamus just flashes back to curry.
Okay, so it's only that big of a cone. Oh, so this can afford to be bigger. Okay. Okay. Bigger.
Make it bigger! No. More!
So, Akhrua moves over here. Oh. There we are. So, as Akhrua gathers the energy in his hands, you see
Counterspell.
icy air. Give me an intelligence check.
All of us?
No, Mill, because he's counterspelling it, because he's upcasting it.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
shocker.
No, he's using Cone of Cold, not Lightning Bolt.
Nope.
He was casting this at 6th level as well.
Mm.
The equivalent of it, anyway. So, how much key does that use again? I can never remember off the top of my head. Oh, there it is. So, I want all of you to take to roll me a Constitution saving throw, as you'll be taking a certain amount of damage. Rua did not pass. Rua
What do I
failed
need
the
to throw?
assignment.
Constitution?
Constitution saving throw.
Ay, caramba.
Cabrón.
I don't think 14 is enough to pass.
No.
Well, you get a boost from being in proximity to me again.
Oh, thank Jesus.
That's a really good roll as well.
So I'm
Good.
down to 3 hit points already.
Holy shit.
So I take half of that, right? I don't take the whole thing?
No, you
DC
take the whole
20
thing.
on save.
Everyone takes the whole thing.
Fuck! Yeah, I'm almost dead as well, though. Not
Do we
quite
have
as
the
bad.
10 temp?
What's that?
Do we have the 10 temp still or no?
No.
Okay. Just making sure. Just asking.
So
No
that 10
hit points,
that
okay.
10 temp actually factored into the rolls I decided to do. For that would have happened across that month and a half.
Got it.
Gotcha.
I thought I wouldn't do that just to tease the idea of having temp HP and then it being wasted. So yeah, you all take 45 points of cold damage.
We're killing it, guys. We're killing it.
So Rua's at 27 HP. So yeah, as that happens, Akhrua's like, oh, did I go too hard already?
Little bit.
Might have.
Oh.
Fuck it, you ball, right? He just shrugs. And he's just gonna stay still, and it's Seamus's turn.
Oh, God.
How much HP are you at, Seamus, now?
16.
Jesus Christ.
I'm still squishy.
I don't want to know if another man's squishy, Seamus. Akhrua calls to you from across the room.
Fuck off! I gotta zoom this out more. How far away am I?
Not far enough with Akhrua ever, eh?
Yeah,
He has 70 feet of movement. You're not far enough away.
I'm a
throw up.
I'm a cast a 5th level shatter. No, I'm not gonna do that.
Shatter his balls.
I'm gonna cast a 4th level shatter.
He was gonna cast Shatter.
I'm just saying absolutely fuck it on this one. I do not care. It does nothing. And he's gonna pass the save, I know it. Yeah, he did.
So he only takes 7 damage. Is it?
Wait,
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah, 7. And then I'm gonna cast Bardic Inspiration on Dairon. And
Are you moving?
yes. I'm gonna go way the fuck over here.
Felix, it's your turn.
Yeah.
I'm still too close.
Ooh. Bucket, considering Akhrua's all on his own, Vitriolic Sphere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he takes no damage because he has evasion.
Right. That was a waste.
Correct.
This is sparring though, so Darren, it's your turn.
Okay. Good God. Fuck you. He's gonna come to me, so I'm just gonna throw it back to aim and fire my crossbow. 17 does not hit.
No, it doesn't, I'm afraid to say. So, as you... No, actually no, because it didn't even do damage. You wouldn't deflect that. Aldane. You can actually... That's the wrong... You can actually... No, you can't reach me melee.
But I can get close.
You doing anything
And I
else?
cast Shield of Faith.
There. Is that your turn?
Oh yeah, do I have a shield to boot? Oh, it's just a regular shield. Not
Yeah.
+1. Yeah, shield Faith. And that'll be my turn.
Ruba runs in. He's actually going to run behind Akhrua, so he isn't caught in an AoE again.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to move there, and then he is going to do a quarterstaff attack. Does not hit. And again. Does not hit. He's going to do a key point for Flurry of Blows. Does not hit. Hits! For 7 bludgeoning damage. And he's going to spend a key point to try and force Akhrua into a stunning strike. So, it's con save versus Rua's spell save DC. So Akhrua needs to roll under a 16. If he had disadvantage, he would have failed. So, now that it's Akhrua's turn, he will rock you.
He's already done that.
He iced you, but yeah, true. He is going to attack Rua because he's in melee with him. Hitting him, yeah, for 11 damage. And again. For 10 damage, okay. And then... Would you believe me if I said Rua's on 6 HP?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we got our shit kicked.
He is going to do another unarmed strike. Hits. And Rua's knocked the fuck out. You watch as Akhrua sweeps Rua's leg, puts his hand on Rua's face, and slams his head into the floor. And then he slowly turns around and looks at you, Aldane, and walks at you menacingly.
Oh, let me get to my crane kick position.
As he walks to you, his eyes flash briefly, and you feel a tug.
Hey-oh.
As he will strike at you again. Well, again, strike at you. Doesn't hit, does it?
Nope, just barely misses.
Yep. And that's his turn. Seamus.
Yay. I'm gonna go into health conservation mode. Let's see. Well, Felix, you said you're dangerously low on health, right?
Very much so, yeah.
You want to be a T-Rex?
No, it's fine.
Is this what the teen trans means?
No, oh god, he's not a teen. No, it wasn't so much a question as I'm telling you, you're becoming a T-Rex so you don't die. Oh, that's funny. Fine, I guess I won't do polymorph. I'm gonna just Eldritch Blast a couple times. That's gonna miss.
That one hits.
Yay.
Yep, for 11 damage.
What's awesome too is I only need to be 120 feet away.
True.
So I'm just gonna...
And imagine if you have Stealth Sniper, then you'd only need to be 240 feet away.
That's crazy.
I hope you realize distance
Too bad,
is not going to save
too bad
you.
my sniping doesn't do like
I mean,
any damage.
Distance will, because it means Akhrua will have to expend more movement just to hit him personally.
Oh, and
I mean, heck, Akhrua could only get this far to Seamus before he stopped, before he can't reach him.
Yep, I'm gonna end my turn there.
Okay, Felix, it's your turn.
Okay, well... whatchamacallit, save spells aren't working, so... And, you know, now Aldane's right up in Akhrua's face, so that's obviously not gonna work.
I mean, if you did a circle AoE, you could move it to make sure it doesn't hit anyone else.
Yeah.
Depending on where you do it.
Like I said, though, I just don't think it's gonna do much.
It's like, if you did say, I'm just saying as an example, like, you know, 50 radius sphere, like, I mean, you'd have to do a lot of finagling, but you could. Also, geez, 50 radius is massive.
Yeah. I don't think I have a 50 radius spell.
I mean, if you think Meteor Swarm is...
Well, unfortunately for me, I don't have
Oh, it's
Meteor
40-foot radius. Yeah. I mean, if you had Meteor Swarm already, Akhrua would not be doing this training with you. You'd already be going to Black Crane.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know you had a nuclear bomb spell.
Let's go for Chromatic Orb.
That hits.
We'll go... We'll go cold damage.
Being a bit vindictive, are we?
Being vindictive would be acid damage.
True. So, as Aldane, as you were like locked in with Akhrua, you see Akhrua glance over and like, hey, that chromatic. Wait, that doesn't look too bad. Oh, wait! It just gets hit right in the face.
Oh, wow, Felix really is chromatic mobbing!
No, no!
he gets like haymakered in the face by it, and you see like half his face is just icy. It's like, oh, that hurt.
Oh, that hurt.
Like, he's not like, I'm in pain. He's like, damn, that really hurt. 41 damage as well. Nearly close to what he did to you guys. Are you moving, Felix?
Actually, yeah. One more. There.
So while you're locked in with Akhrua, Aldane, you just watch as Akhrua stops looking at you and he's staring right at Felix.
I mean, as soon as I got hit with 45 damage straight to the face, it was always going to be an, you know, exercise in doing as much damage before I got swatted.
True.
Like the incredibly low health bug that I am.
What are you doing, Dairon?
I'm actually gonna do something nuts. I'm gonna bonus action dash to here, and then shocking grasp Akhrua.
Okay.
24. Does that hit?
Yes. So you unleash a shocking grasp on his back, and he does, like, wince in pain. As you know, you channel the electricity through his body, and now he can't take reactions.
And then I will step away.
Naturally.
Dane.
Alright. Time for some good old stabby action.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you would. I didn't realize you still had to go. I'm bad.
You're fine.
Does a 20 hit?
Unfortunately, it doesn't.
Wait, seriously? God damn.
He has 22 AC.
Back.
Akhrua's fucking scary.
Yeah.
Oh
This
wow,
man
we hadn't realized, you know, even
Yeah.
when he was hitting us with fucking 45
Yeah,
damage
this-
in the face.
This man soloed the Bahia you fought together as a group.
Well, when you put it like that, I kind of feel incompetent.
I mean, to be
I'm also
fair,
gonna smite.
you fought a Bahia that was buffed and could basically conjure minions. To your knowledge, Akhrua fought it one-on-one, so... yeah,
I'm a smite.
Yeah. You can't do a level 4 smite, though.
I wasn't going to. I'm gonna do a level 3 though. So that's 48.
Well, okay then, fine.
Why can't he do a level 4?
Because he doesn't have that unlocked yet. That was just a one-time, like, here's a taste of what can be available to you.
And the bonus action restore spell slot, and then my turn there.
Very nice. So that is...
29 total damage.
29
You can also
damage.
step away now without getting attacked.
I do my best work in melee range, unfortunately.
Yes, but that also means he has to expend movement to get to you.
If it helps, guys, you've already nearly dropped him to nearly 400 HP.
Back.
Rua now must do a death save.
I feel like we did better in our first fight against him.
Well, yeah, we
Yeah,
didn't
'cause he
get
was
hit by
holding
45 damage in the first fucking turn.
By the time he could start throwing Cone of Colds, he was under half HP. Akhrua... Oh wait, yeah, Akhrua's turn. I'm gonna... I'm just thinking of what he would want to do. He's gonna roll a d4. Okay, he just looks to you, Aldane, and then you, Darren, for a brief second, and then turns around and just walks to Felix.
Oh god. Does Aldan get a...
Yeah, he gets an opportunity attack. Because
Oh yeah.
it's easy to forget, Akhrua can actually just disengage as a bonus action. He just doesn't need to.
That's why I asked.
That hits.
Hey!
Do you want to smite?
Oh yeah.
You get
Level
it.
3 this time.
Nice. Level 3?
Or level 2 rather.
I was gonna say, that's weirdly low. Yeah, so that is 9 plus 16. Yep. So now Akhrua is under 400 HP. So Akhrua walks over to you, Felix, and he goes to let me see. No, we can't do that. It'll kill Rua. It'd actually kill him. So I was gonna say Akhrua would stand. Akhrua would stand here, look to you, Felix, and say, "Watch this," and then drop an AOE, but it would kill Rua.
Yeah, that's not conducive.
Yeah, watch this. Kills his grandson. Fucking.
I mean, he would in terms of the allegation.
Honestly, the funniest thing as well is Akhrua could cast Banishment. So you guys would just be back in the town square of Centralis after, like, probably only, like, 20 minutes has passed in the real world.
Back to Brazil.
Nearly spat my fucking drink. Oh. No, that's if he casts Maze.
To the favelas with you!
So... Instead... He... I've got the giggles now. Fuck. Actually, where is the shape token? What's the range on this? Okay. Actually, not yet. Akhrua will walk to you, Felix, and say, huh, watch this. And he casts Fireball.
Counterspell.
You see him do that, and you don't need to make a roll. My man's raw level 3'd that spell. Oh. Well, I guess I don't have anything to show you, Felix. And he just shrugs. And he's gonna second wind. And heals himself for... Oh my god. So, yeah. And that's his turn. Seamus.
Oh no. Oh no. What do I do? What do I do?
You could drop a shatter.
Oh my god. I don't know. What
I personally would prefer if you didn't drop a shatter.
He could
I
drop
will,
it and not
however,
hurt you.
crit on an Eldritch Blast. And only do 10 damage. What the fuck?
So you notice as you watch as like Akhrua slaps away the first Eldritch Blast, nearly catching Darren from the stray, but then Akhrua tries to do it again, and his hand actually gets like burnt from the blast. Ah, that hurt. Felix, it's your turn.
Oh, I wasn't done yet.
Oh,
I want to make
sorry.
sure. I want to make sure I stay far away from him.
Yeah, he has 70 feet, so we can't reach you.
Okay, I'm good. We're good.
Felix, you have Akhrua in melee with you.
Shadow Blade.
Okay. It isn't dark enough where you can get advantage on it, I'm afraid.
Wouldn't have helped.
True.
That's me.
You conjure your Shadow Blade, you strike at him, and you miss him, unfortunately. Dairon.
Where the fuck is he now?
He's next to Felix.
Right in my face.
Ah, rapier.
If you look in the general chat of the Discord, this is what I imagine Akhrua did when he approached Felix.
Jesus.
Does
Does a 23 hit?
Yes.
31 points of damage.
As you go to stab at him, you watch as just like last time, Akhrua partially phases out of existence to catch your attack. He looks like, and the thing is, he only did that the last time you did that as well. So it's clear he's respecting your damage output. Which is, you know, Good.
It's something. It's something.
And yeah. So that's your turn, correct? 'Cause- Oh, you have bonus action if you wanted
I have a
to.
bonus action. Just trying to think what I want to do with the bonus action.
You could backflip.
I could. Can I insightful fighting?
Sure. Akhrua has negative charisma. He
Hell
actually has a
is.
worse charisma stat than Rua. Yeah, Akhrua can't pass that.
Skibbity
Cool.
toilet riz.
Oh my god. Ugh.
How I like
Okay.
to imagine Akhrua's low charisma is, because he canonically has autism, he will say a concept that to him and other people that understand him makes sense, but to the average person, he almost is incomprehensible sometimes. Like, you guys get fighting like he does, so like the concepts he's saying to you make sense. To a random guy in the street, he would sound like a crazy person. So, Aldane, it is your turn. Do you move in? You have the melee range. If you're talking, we can't hear you. Or I can't.
Oh, sorry. My mic was muted. Does 3 count as overwhelmed, or is that 4?
4.
Okay, well, whatever. Nope.
There is
that
someone who
was
could have
bad.
helped you overwhelm him.
Yes. I wonder what they're doing.
Oh, fucking Family Guy fallen unconscious.
Oh, you weren't even
And-
trying to include Seamus the
I-
coward.
No,
I
I have no
went-
use at close
I-
range.
I'm not even saying Seamus because I was like, well, no, he's ranged. I was like, you, Ruby's just arse over tit on the floor.
Yeah,
He
no,
got-
he's in
he-
the Family
he
Guy
got-
death
He
pose.
got heat actioned by his grandfather.
How many saving throws has he done so far?
Akhrua?
No.
Oh, Rua,
Rua.
he's only done one.
Okay.
He can afford to nat one a death save.
So if he doesn't.
Speaking of... Okay. I didn't manifest that into existence. So, it is Akhrua's turn. You notice he reaches to his hip for a weapon, and he's like, oh wait, I can't steal and strike you guys. Anyway, he casts a spell.
Counterspell.
Give me an intelligence check.
No.
We dumb as bricks here.
He is misty stepping.
Of course he is.
It was either that or he was going to drop a fireball on himself.
Yeah, but I could dodge that.
Yeah, that's why he's casting the thing that will actually cause problems. Seamus!
Oh no!
As he approaches you, you already see him fist clenched.
Oh, you're approaching me?
Oh shit. Oh wait, no. That hits anyway, doesn't it?
Let me double check. Yes, it does. It matches.
Fucking hell.
Oh my God.
Max damage as well.
And that's exactly the amount of HP I had left.
Rip.
As Akhrua is about to throw his second punch, Seamus falls unconscious, and he's just like, "Oh, I thought you were stronger."
You motherfucker!
Get bodied.
So that was what? So he did 30 feet, and then...
Oh, did we miss attack of opportunity on that?
Nope. Misty
No,
Step.
it was Misty Step.
Misty Step.
And none of us have Mage Slayer.
Yet.
Yet.
So he has... Okay. So he has 15 feet of movement left. So he just walks past... He walks backwards. And... How far does this go, actually? I need to check something for a sec. Because this is a thing I've not had to look at in... years. Like, before the campaign years. Oh my god, that class is fucking dog shit. Okay.
Which one?
I'm not telling you. That would be telling.
That's true.
We watch as he like walks back and he's like, oh, whatever, and he just like waits with his arms crossed. Seamus, give me a death save. Come on, nat 20. Nat 20 and get back up. You can do it.
Not quite.
You still pass. Felix, it's your turn.
How far away is he now? 70 feet. I'm also going to Misty Step.
Away, I assume. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Well, just so we're not all in a big fucking cluster.
Honestly, the best way you could fuck him over is to stand near Rua, because he won't drop an AoE on someone to kill them.
Yeah, but that sort of defeats the point of the session, of the spar. So 1, 2, 6. I am 55 feet away, which is a nice distance, because... yeah, easily. Chromatic Orb. Nope.
Unfortunately, Akhrua Matrix dodges the shot. Dairon, it's your turn.
I'm gonna bonus action aim and fire my crossbow.
Didn't you get a painter's inspiration as well from Seamus?
Bardic.
Did give Dairon a bardic inspiration.
Bardic, yes, sorry. The 27 hits anyway.
26.
So you watch as Akhrua looks at the shot, and he actually puts his hand out to catch it, and he's going to try and deflect this missile. So he gets to roll a d10 plus dex plus monk level. Is that dex mod or dex stat? Dex mod, okay. So he doesn't have a plus 22 to this roll on top of that. But he does admin. Oh.
Hello?
Sorry, I was just... the fact that he got a 1.
Mm.
Oh my god. It's like the ultimate disrespect. He just catches the shot and, like... tosses the arrow behind him. But you can tell, Dairon, he almost barely didn't catch it.
Dairon's just giving him a death glare, but like really heavily, keeping like eyes shadowed, very struggling to keep standing.
Haldane.
Definitely. He is nowhere near me right now. I'm gonna just go over to Akhrua and lay on hands.
Honestly,
hit
you would be
points.
really good to get mobile defeat.
We need to get you. We also need to get you a longbow or something.
We need to get you some bitches.
A longbow would probably help, but that's, I'm pretty sure, a dex weapon.
Yeah. So, how much are you healing Rua for?
Let's go with 10 for now.
Okay. Rua is now at 10 HP. Is he like... Oh, the fight's still going. Oh, the fight's still going.
We're mostly being toyed with.
So that's your turn, is it, Haldane?
Yes.
Rua gets up, and he will... where's the thing now? So he's going to get up. That will use half his movement, leaving him with 25 feet. He's going to run forward. And then he's going to teleport 30 feet to him as a bonus action. And now he is translucent and platinum. Ghostly almost. Which means he has resistance against all damage. He is also going to... Where is it now? Is it this one? He's going to activate the Monk's Quickened Healing. For 2 key points, he can regain HP equal to his martial arts die, plus proficiency. So he gains 6 HP back. And that's his turn. Akhrua runs by Rua, and on the way is going to try and tap him and hit him. For 30. Oh my god, he magic pixeled his grandson.
Ha.
Oh, that's funny.
Something that we all seem to do very well is just magic pixel each other.
Ran 55 feet, and then you're lucky, Felix. You're just out of range.
God.
Is what I would say if Akhrua didn't light his arms on fire and his legs, and now he has 10 feet range. Because that's the thing monks have, Fangs of the Fire Snake. So. Oh wait, he'd run away from Rua, so Rua gets an opportunity attack.
Mm.
And does not hit. But let's see if Akhrua can hit Felix.
Probably will.
14.
Misses. How the fuck?
Let's see his... 1 second. Yeah, so now Akhrua gets to do his third attack.
Mm-hmm. Misses.
Oh wait, that's Rua's stats. But that still would only be a 16?
Yeah, which misses.
Oh my god. I want to put the Ultra Instinct theme on my phone and just hold it at the mic.
Copyright sounds.
Yeah, you just clap the bod. Okay, 4th attack. Okay, okay. For... Oh, I didn't even mean to apply that automatically. But yeah, so 13... So 10... So 13 fire damage.
Sorry, that's going to be nothing damage.
Oh, shit. Well, it's a good thing Akhrua has his fifth attack as a bonus action.
Hits.
Okay, and that
Down.
is 10 fire damage. Are you down?
Yeah. Of course I am. I was on 3. All it needed was for him to actually hit me.
Oh. You still did well, though, to, like, you know, be on the recipient of some good luck on your end. So, as you are knocked unconscious, Akhrua just says, the fight is over. We can call it here.
Oh my god.
If you want to replay Wind of the Rainforest, Mill, should be one of the songs above in the music channel.
Yeah.
So, after that's done, you're all brought together as Akhrua heals Felix and... Oh, that's the wrong thing. As Akhrua would heal you all, or at least heal the people who are unconscious, the consciousness.
How much HP should I give myself?
Just give yourself 5 HP.
Okay.
So, you all did exceptional.
I don't
Did we-
feel very exceptional. Could you not have called it before you knocked me out?
No.
I think he's a little salty about that last hit.
To be honest, that chromatic orb hitting me was fair game. I'm not even bothered about that. You hit me square in the face. It's just if a caster hits me very hard, I'm going to make sure that they don't do that again.
Fair.
Simple strategy, after all. You don't let the people who do the highest amount of damage keep doing that.
I want to flashback to all the times we've actually let that exact thing happen.
It's not like with you, Darren, where I can hopefully, usually, catch people's arrows. Like, I could afford to keep letting you shoot. It's just the thing is, when you get into melee and start shocking, grasping, or stabbing at me, then I have to, like, pivot to you, you know. But that's not the point. The point is, though, you did very well. You know, compared to the last time we did a proper sparring where, you know, I was obviously not only holding back, but going through different stages of my fighting styles. Like, yeah. I mean, it also helps that you tanked my Cone of Cold, which I did upcast.
Yeah, I noticed.
It hurt. A lot.
I mean, yeah, it's the point of a Cone of Cold. But think of it this way, the Ancient Dragon's breath is going to be even more dangerous than that. Well, it will hurt more, but Darren and Rua will at least have a chance to just not get hurt by it. Because of how evasive they are. So technically it's not as bad. But, anyway, it's not the point. Semantics. The point is, though, I want you guys to rest up, get in the hot springs, have a wash, get relaxed, and you can hit the hay early today.
Yay, long
Sounds
rest.
good.
So, as you prepare to go into the hot springs, we're going to call a small break.
Cool, I'm hungry. I'm gonna go get myself something to eat.
I had tacos on
my-
Saturday, and I can't stop thinking about them. They were just that good.
Well, you ain't had real tacos until you had tacos in L.A.
I mean, I had ones from actual Latinos.
No, I'm totally joking. It's
Oh.
it's actually kind of a quote from a show of people mocking LA people. Oh my
I mean,
god, LA. LA is the
I mean-
class.
I mean, I'm always happy to make fun of people from America.
Yeah. Oh, be careful with that. We're allowed to make fun of each other, but we don't take kindly to foreigners making fun of us.
That's literally every country ever.
Exactly.
Oh shit, again.
Yeah.
Argenti's English voice actor is no longer his voice actor.
Why?
It says unknown reasons. To be
Great.
fair, he's already said before that apparently the reason why he didn't have lines is because of contract reasons. So I can only assume it just wasn't extended or like
Okay,
He
that's
just-
not
it's,
the worst.
it's not like Chris Niosi
Yeah.
yet. We don't know. What has
I
this
mean-
guy done? Talon Warburton, he's called. So he's provided additional voices in Final Fantasy VII, Rebirth, and Like a Dragon. He was a NPC in Genshin. Nothing major, really.
Okay.
Fair enough. Also, Mr. Tail has a new voice actor as well, because Argenti's voice actor was also Tail.
Oh.
In English.
Yeah, that makes sense. That might as well happen.
That's... Oh, I forgot, again. I've been doing more stuff in Final Fantasy XIV.
Uh-huh.
The new raid series is extremely fun. Like, it's... Let me find one of the songs, because it's such a tonal shift compared to the raid series in Endwalker.
Because aren't the Endwalker raid series like the gods?
It's... So the Alliance raids are the 12. The one,
Okay.
the normal raid series is based in, like, with the Convocation. Because it's like the origins of La Habrea,
I see. Okay.
which are actually phenomenal story. A phenomenal story. Here you go again. It's not really spoilery if you watch it because, like, the lack of context will just mean nothing for you.
I mean, I already don't care about spoilers, so this is fine. Okay, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Okay, what the fuck? And this is just the what?
This is what that theme is. One of the themes for the first raid tier for the normal raids.
I have so many questions.
And I've only done the first two, and the first one's also similarly a bop.
It's giving strong Honeybee in.
I mean, she's called Honeybee Lovely.
Yeah, I mean that's part of it, right? It's like
Wish I could just delete Sneeko from existence.
Where the hell's Sneeko?
Like, he's one of those YouTubers, like, in the same sphere as, like, Keemstar and Adin Ross. Just, like,
the worst.
Creeps, right-winger people.
Oof.
Cuties is his favourite movie, according to himself.
Oof.
Of course.
And he's, like, an actual paedophile.
Of course he is.
Like, not even like, oh, he's a pedo. Like, he actually advocates for child marriage.
Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
He had a debate. He's been having beef with Critical for a while now. And a lot of it because of the stuff with, is it Ava?
I don't know.
One of Mr. Beast's friends?
Yeah, that one, yeah.
Oh, I see. Now I understand.
Because Charlie finally said something that isn't completely centrist. It's just fucking stupid.
Sometimes people are just the worst. I hate them.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Hello, Dylan.
Heyo. Is anybody else back here?
I don't
Some
think,
of us haven't.
Here the whole time.
yeah, I don't think anybody else left.
I mean, I went up to use the bathroom and grab my long drink, but
No one asked
Yeah.
Jack.
Jesus.
wow. Harsh.
I just went and made myself some mac and cheese.
Of course you did.
Actually, did I share this meme yesterday? If not, I'm going to share it in the Rabbit server. Because I love this meme at the moment.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
Okay.
For those who can't see it, it's a meme of Eisen, Sosuke Eisen from Bleach, with a bottle of Hennessy, saying cheers to that mad W. It's the fact that it's Hennessy. I think if it was any other alcohol, it wouldn't be as funny, but the fact that it's Hennessy of all drinks.
Well, he's got that Black Air Force energy. Gotta give him the Hennessy bottle.
I didn't even know what Hennessy...
Actually,
I didn't even know what Hennessy was until recently.
Yeah, it's a cognac. Basically, shitty whiskey.
Because I watched a video of someone jokingly saying that they wanted a mod for Marvel vs. Capcom, where it's literally just Hulk as himself, but with a bottle of Hennessy.
Oh, would you use the Hennessy as a bludgeon or something?
Well, because of how Hulk's moveset is in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, one of his best moves literally just slams the bottom of his fist down on someone. So he basically is clubbing them with a bottle. And the person who wanted the mod was like doing the Savage Hulk impression and joking like, Hulk loves Hennessy! And just, it was very funny.
that's kind of funny. That's a good bit. I appreciate it.
And then, yeah, it was just very funny. It's from Life Heroes videos, if you ever watch any of his stuff.
Not
You
familiar
should.
with-
Very funny. Funny Irishman with a lot of very funny friends. Are we all ready to jump back into the session?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so I'm gonna skip ahead to basically as you guys have already been in the hot spring. Excuse me. Drinks repeating on me. So yeah, I'm gonna say you've already been in the hot springs. So you're mostly just Akhrua's give you some like time to just have a break. You're not even like necessarily having to like train.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you just sort of left to your own devices. What would you guys be doing on your alone time? Considering there aren't really any people to talk to other than each other. I mean, there's like places for meditation. Some of you could just turn in early to sleep. Some of you could just walk around the area. Or you could just be doing training on your own or doing exercises.
I think Diron's going to be meditating.
Okay. What would Aldane be doing?
Aldane's probably going to some time reading.
Okay. Felix, what would you be doing?
I think Felix would be melee training.
Seamus, what would you be doing?
I feel like Seamus should be doing some kind of training, but I don't know what he'd be doing right now.
I mean, resting after an intense period of training is also a valid thing to do.
Maybe practicing with his instruments.
Fair enough. So, Dairon, give me a wisdom saving throw as you attempt to meditate.
Oh.
Maybe it's because of the adrenaline that came from the fight. Maybe you haven't really fully calmed down after the fact. But you find it's hard to sort of like keep your concentration. You feel too alert. As weird as that is to be kind of a bad thing right now. Because, you know...
I think Diron's just very frustrated.
Yeah. What else would Darren be doing then?
I think Diron would try to do some training, but to depends on. I guess. I don't want to be like very aggressively trying to just let out their frustration, their lack of ability.
Okay. Give me a few attack rolls then. Because there would be training dummies. And there would be like targets and stuff. So, as you are letting out your frustrations, eventually gets to the point where you kind of take a breather and you actually notice Akhrua is watching you. Something the matter?
Just my own inability.
What inability would that be?
Inability to focus.
Would you be doing this at one of your friends if they had a similar inability?
They're not me.
They aren't you, yeah. True. But if you wouldn't do that to them, why would you do it to yourself? I know that's easier said than done. It's not something that's easy to internalize. I should know. When I was around your age as well, I remember having a breakdown because I felt useless when I was fighting with the wildcards. I actually seriously considered giving up there and then at the time. But everyone has their ups and downs. Everyone is good at stuff. Everyone's bad at stuff. I mean, heck, you know, apart from Aldane, the average is every one of you guys was struggling a lot with the physical exercise portion of this training we've been doing, which isn't a bad thing. You know, like, Rua has actually been struggling here and there to do meditation. Some of you have anyway. It's not just you. Some of you, I mean, heck, in that fight, in the sparring, you did phenomenal. I had to actively try to not take the full damage from some of your attacks. That's not to say your friends are weak. It's just you generally do more immediate damage. That's a lot scary. And you seem to smile a bit. You know.
I know what you're trying to say, and it's not. They're all things that I said to myself, or have heard others say.
It's just sometimes not easy to accept that you should be kinder to yourself. You know, I have for a long time struggled with that. You know, especially when you yourself might hold a lot of responsibility on your shoulders. You know, it's not easy. And who knows, you might never truly get over it. And that's okay. You know, your friends won't judge you for it unless you either make it their problem in a way where you aren't willing to do any of the work on yourself, or, well, I guess that's it really. You know, the fact that you're trying, the fact that you are even critical of yourself to begin with is already a good thing. It's just a matter of tempering that in the right direction and into the right focus. Which again, easier said than done. We're not exactly in the best circumstances to be working on that kind of mental health problem. But you're at least around people who are not only willing to hear you out, but won't judge you for it. All of them will be having their own struggles. I mean, heck, Rua doesn't make his stuff very hidden, does he?
No, he doesn't.
For better or worse, he has his heart in his sleeve. But at least he's willing to share it. And it's not wrong with you to not share it, always. Sometimes it can be a problem that you can, maybe not comfortably, but can possibly deal with on your own. But know that I would be willing to share my problems with you if need be. And I haven't been afraid to be open with how I felt with things before. I mean, heck, when I had to bury my own son, after what happened with the Cult of the Tarrasque, I may have caused a few tremors in the ground and cracks in the area from just my sheer rage and grief.
That's not surprising.
You know, I'm over 300 years old and I still feel. We all still feel. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with feeling inadequate. If I couldn't continue to grow as a person, I don't know what I'd do, because it means I would have stagnated. But the fact that I can continue to become better is always a good thing. At least try to appreciate the stuff you can do and that you have developed on. The fact that you even have come in here with some friends, people you barely knew up until a while ago, speaks a lot about you, even if you haven't necessarily realized that yourself. You're more than being some reincarnation or fucking descendant of someone who I know from the past. I don't know what your entire deal is with that. I can't pretend to know. Maybe you are related to a Genasi that I knew years and years ago. Maybe you aren't. And Akhrua just shrugs. And that's okay. You know, you're still you, and everything you do is still what you can do. I'm kind of fucking this metaphor up. You get the point, though.
No, I get it. Like I said, these aren't things I haven't heard before or haven't said to myself.
Well, if you're feeling a bit anxious, I did make some leftover curry. You can eat as much as you'd like if you want. Sometimes food can also be really good to help get you through stuff.
It's just hard being it's just hard being the young one.
I mean, Rua's older than you, but he hasn't had the life experience you've had. You're more... well, you're less naive than he is. You know? It's easy to forget Felix is actually over 100 sometimes, which isn't a bad thing. Age doesn't mean jack shit. I mean, heck, I'm over 300 and I still sometimes struggle with how I should be as a grandfather. Then you already helped me with that. During that first sparring session.
I know. And like I said.
Which also doesn't mean you should, like, worry that my progression as a person should be indicative of how you should progress. Some people just can't get up the hill at the same rate as others, for different reasons. And you've had to deal with a lot of shit from where you've grown up from. I'm not saying that's an excuse, or the entire reason why. After all, I don't know your complete story. But I'm at least old enough and experienced enough to have context clues. Which, again, doesn't really mean shit. Like, just because I have a good read on people doesn't mean I can actually help them with their problems. And if I am talking too much, feel free to tell me to shut up.
I think I just need to be alone for a bit. That's
no
okay.
problem. Yeah, of course. I'll let the others know as well.
Dara just kind of nods and I don't want to say runs off, but like kind of just goes off, but you can
Yeah.
start hearing like the sound of metal hitting trees.
Yeah. So, Aldane,
Yeah.
you said you were reading, right?
Yes.
So there's a few different books in the facility, the domain, whatever you want to call it, that you're in. How do I describe this? You find a few things. A lot of it is actually medical journals. Books on like procedures that you've never really heard of before. A lot of the stuff that seems to be in a lot of the books is quite advanced medical knowledge. And I mean, it's not just that, but that's a lot of the contents. Like, there's even books entirely on like the anatomy of like specific races. Like, there's one of like the anatomy of tieflings. Then it's like the anatomy of like Goliaths.
Oh, the anatomy of a murderer. That's interesting.
Imagine. But give me an investigation check, actually, as you just look the shelves. Because is there a particular book you're looking for, or is it just anything that might catch your eye?
Anything that might catch my eye. I won't likely be able to find what I'm looking for anyways with that roll.
You're too kind of swamped by all of the medical books to really pick out anything that might not be a medical book. The one that seems to probably catch your eye the best is how do I describe this? It's basically a guide to CPR, more or less. But it's quite an extensive book. As you browse the contents of the book, it seems to account for different ages, body types, even races. As some races, as you would know of Dairon, like, Dairon doesn't necessarily need to breathe to live. Like, Dairon can hold their breath indefinitely, so stuff like that comes up in the book. As you peruse its contents, give me an intelligence check.
Oh, yay.
You read through the book at a good pace. With your basic knowledge in, like, medical things anyway. You're not proficient in medicine, though, are you?
I am proficient.
Oh, ignore me, then. So with your training in medicine, a lot of the stuff is making sense to you. It's stuff that you can clearly tell this book is, like, more advanced than some of the training you've had. Not in terms of, like, harder difficulty, but clearly more developments have been made compared to what training you've been given, is what I mean to say. Especially because a lot of the contents of the book seems to be referencing that the author is a plane hopper.
Huh, curious.
But within the book, you notice this stuff about, like, how tieflings, for example, because they can have a resistance to cold and poison, as well as just intense heat. There's different ways that you could look after them, especially with stuff like CPR and making sure their body's okay, while, say, a more trained professional is being found. You know, while someone else will be tending to the body, or the person, I should say. And it's really interesting because it reminds you of stuff like when you've been around Oriana, or you've ever had to look after her in the past.
Yes.
And it's just it's very interesting. Honestly, you feel like you've come away from reading the book better than you did before, for certain. You only get to about a quarter of the book, because not only is the book quite extensive, you're also having to reread certain terms in the glossary, just so certain things are making sense to you. But it's written in such a way that makes it easy to parse and understand. It's just that given your knowledge in medicine, and I feel like Aldane, maybe this is me being assuming a lot, but I feel like Aldane would be the kind of person that would give that kind of book the attention it deserves.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he wouldn't just like skim.
No, he'd read it thoroughly.
So yeah. As you go through it though, you eventually notice Akhrua is watching you. He's not like over your shoulder, but he's just like, you know, keeping an eye. Oh yeah, that book. That was from a guy in Sigil. I bought it off him.
Oh, interesting.
A lot of my medical knowledge is actually from stuff from across the plains. Fun fact, I have such an extensive memory when it comes to the anatomy of living beings. I fight with that knowledge in mind.
Oh, that sounds fun.
I know exactly where the right place to punch a Minotaur is, to make sure they are just winded enough that they don't die, but they won't want to continue fighting.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
I mean, well, I don't fight enough Minotaurs to make that relevant, but you never know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but yeah. Although it helps that I can live till I'm 700, so I've had a lot of time to internalize that knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
I've just been keeping the rounds. I just spoke to Darren earlier. They said they wanted to be alone for a bit. Just,
Sounds
you know.
about par for the course for Dairon.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Some people need their alone time.
No,
I mean, there's
I
times
agree.
when I do. It's just, you know.
It's very
Darren's-
much a Dairon thing.
I mean, and that's fine. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Some people need their alone time. Some people prefer being more in the spotlight. Everyone has different things. I generally was actually pretty quiet as a kid.
Well, didn't know that.
Yeah, I actually didn't like talking to people for a long time. I actually had a really bad problem with eye contact for ages as well.
Mm.
In fact, I barely spoke back in my temple, but that's more because I didn't feel like I belonged. Or at the very least, because there was this one bully in the group, this Genasi woman. I really fucking hated her. And I still don't really care for her. I'm kind of glad I've outlived her, but that's not the point. The point is, though, it was kind of because of her and other things that I didn't really like talking very much. I was still figuring out myself as a kid. I mean, heck, the only reason I even left home is because I went on a revenge plot. And then I was kind of forced to socially interact with people. And I kind of overcorrected a bit, but I'm happy with that. You know. Otherwise, heck, I wouldn't have been able to hold a conversation with you like I am now. But, you know. And heck, you can actually have conversations with people properly. You're actually charismatic, unlike me. I just kind of get by and don't care. I don't even remember what I was going to say, I'm going to be honest with you. Oh, yeah. Point is, everyone has their own strengths and weaknesses. You know, Darren's really good at sleuthing and being nimble. You're better at being more physically orientated. You know, you're good at talking to people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's all good, I guess. And honestly, yeah, I knew you guys were really good. Anyway, you guys kind of have the knack, like I do, and some of my friends have over the years. But it's just nice knowing that people, like, that isn't a lost concept. You know? It's nice to know that if something did happen to me, which I'm not like, this isn't some sort of foreshadowing, I don't have, like, some disease. It's just that, you know, if I do decide to even retire, then, you know, people like you guys are still around. And heck, if you decide you want to, like, I don't know, give up fighting altogether, that's fine by me as well. I just want to know that I'm not going to be left to be responsible for everyone. Still. Well, not still, but, you know. You get what I mean, right?
Yeah, I get it.
Thank God. Yeah, I'll let you continue reading. Feel free to read anything you want. I mean, you'll be here for 6 months. If there's anything in particular you need help with, like actually training for some of the medical procedures, I can help you with some of that as well.
Are there any enhancement books in here?
No.
Didn't think
Do you
so, but it's
do you mean,
hard
like-
to ask.
Do you mean like to permanently increase your abilities, or do you mean just to like learn skills?
Either.
Well, we don't... I did actually have a copy of one of those books. I don't know where it's gone. It was the book to raise charisma. Some of my friends in the wildcards almost killed each other for it. But I lost the book. It's probably at the orphanage, I hope. If not, and he just shrugs. But if you want to learn skills, there is stuff amongst you. Tomorrow, because I plan to give you guys a break day anyway, you can look for stuff. And I'll
Sounds
point out
good.
books that would be helpful for you. I mean, heck, I can even teach you some skills myself.
That's appreciated.
No problem. I mean, heck, this isn't just to make you powerful, this is to help round you out as people. And again, even if the progression isn't completed while you're here, it's at least good to get the first steps going. Sometimes that's usually the most important part. But I'll leave you to it. I still have a Felix, a Seamus, and a Rua to bother.
Good luck with that.
I mean, well, Felix should be fine. Well, Seamus should be fine. Honestly, all 3 of them should be fine. I don't know what I'm worrying about. Sometimes I think, you know...
I will be
I'm
fine.
Sometimes I think, damn, I am really over 300 years old. I mean, a lot of people weirded out. Apparently, my way of speaking is very, like, unusual to a lot of people.
Consequence of long lifespans, unfortunately.
I mean, even before I turned even 100, I still speak the way I do now. But that's neither here nor there. Anyway, for now, I'll leave you to it. And he leaves you alone. So, Felix.
Yep.
What was it you said you'd be doing again? Like
Melee training.
training, melee training. Yes. Give me a few attack rolls. Okay. Okay. That's good enough. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh.
One more for
Stop,
good
he's
measure.
already dead. So as you are working on the training dummy, you notice with these training dummies, after a while, they actually are fixing themselves back up. So you pause every so often to like let them fix up again. And eventually, you finally notice Akhrua's been watching you. Very good form. I can tell though that you aren't really, or you probably never really enjoyed the Tennoyama training from being a kid. Am I wrong in that assumption? If I am, I apologize.
I mean, I basically ran away from it, so no, you're correct.
Oh. Damn, I'm good. Anyway, ignoring me actually being surprisingly perceptive even when I'm not trying, I was just seeing what you were doing. I already spoke to Dairon, who said they want to be alone, and Aldane, who is reading books.
One of those is
still have-
expected, one of those is unexpected.
Yeah, I know. Dairon's usually the life of the party, aren't they?
I mean, usually it's more a case of one of us will, refuse to leave them alone, so...
Ah. I mean, Darren said they wanted to be left alone. I respected their wishes.
We rarely do.
I mean, to be fair, I rarely did when I was your... Well, not even your age. Their age, I should say.
Mm.
I mean, I still do meddle in people's lives, although I know when to pull back.
I mean, I feel like the last time we left Darren alone when they asked to be left alone, things went badly.
Yeah, but
sort of
Darren
spiraled.
hasn't had to, like... Yeah, but you haven't had to kill any children that were possessed by a Dracolich recently.
Mm.
So, you know... I mean, you might have to kill someone who is going to be possessed by an evil dragon, but... And Akhrua
That's
just
a whole
shrugs.
different game. That's a whole different thing.
Akhrua just shrugs, clearly not knowing what else to say in regards to that. But yeah, I mean, heck, part of the training will be to help you with your posture and your technique without needing to do it to the sometimes not brutal, but just it's a bit much for a kid.
Overbearing,
The training that
degree,
can be
yeah.
done. Yeah. Well, the original country that your mother, because I believe your dad was from Blackrain, from what I heard on the grapevine.
Yeah.
I believe, well, at least on your mother's side and Seamus's family side, that doesn't make sense. Anyway, the country that... point is, the country that that such practices originated from were actually much harsher. Every child would have done military service at some point in their lives. Not necessarily as a child, but still, rather than overbearing, it sometimes even would break the kids. Leave them like hollow. So, you know, at least Tenoyama's better in that regard. I'm of the opinion that it helps for children to understand things like discipline and how to defend themselves, but there is a point where it can be a bit too much. I mean, heck, everyone in my orphanage knows how to defend themselves, but I would like to think I've had the experience to know how to train people right.
Well, they're definitely the lucky ones.
Well, that's why it's partly why I wanted to become a hero and travel the world, is so people didn't have to live the way I did. You know. Unfortunately, that still does happen, but at least I can use my experiences to stop people from becoming worse than me, or just like me. It's not easy, but that's why I do it. Because if I didn't, then who will? Or at the very least, I can hopefully encourage people to be able to help continue that cycle if I can't do that as well.
It's very, very noble motive.
Yeah, I mean, heck, where I come from, at least before I went back, by that point I was called Akhrua Evere. A lot of the countries were very regressive. The capital of elves in that continent, Tel Tukira is its name, very much imperialistic. I mean, heck, they actually wiped out my entire village of elves because they were fearing a potential uprising that, from what I found out, was never even going to happen. The king was just hella paranoid. Was, because I killed him.
I would expect no less.
And then, thankfully, his son, who was much more even-tempered and, well, not a fucking idiot, took over. So now if you went back, it'd be much more pleasant. Although I've not been back in a long time, so maybe it has regressed again.
Depends how old the son was, I guess.
Well, he was... Akhrua crosses his arms and thinks. I think he was around Rua's age at the time. And that was many decades ago. So he's probably closer to your age.
Well, fingers crossed he's only grown wiser since then, rather than gone backwards.
I mean, he had good morals.
Hmm.
I believe in him. And heck, as I said to them back then, and I will again now, if for any reason they go back to their old ways, then well, it will no longer be a kingdom. Make of that what you will.
If you do plan a visit there sometime in the near future, do you think we could come along with you?
Sure. No reason why not. I mean, heck, I am still I should still be considered a citizen there.
Hmm.
I didn't do anything to lose my status as one. But, That's for another time. But yeah, I'll happily bring you along. And it'd be nice to show Brewer where my ancestral home was. I say ancestral. My home was.
Yeah.
I wanted to do it with Stasia and my partner before everything that happened with that happened. Heck, who knows? Maybe if I can reunite with them as well, I'll take them all with me. And you guys. You can see where I learned martial arts. Although I think the vast majority of the people from that temple will have already died. There was only one who was an elf. She was cool though. She was a drow.
Oh. Interesting.
She hated her family from the Underdark, so she fled.
I mean, we obviously had some interactions with the Underdark, and while some of them were positive, got the impression that other places would definitely be negative.
Yeah, I mean, I've actually been to Amethyst before as well. The people there are nice. It's just, yeah, I mean, there are some drow that are bad. I mean, heck, there's some high elves and wood elves that are bad people.
I mean, there's bad eggs in every race.
Yeah. But, you know, the actions of the bad actors shouldn't, you know, be caused to hate everyone. You know, just because humans have done a lot of horrible things doesn't mean that they should be, you know, cast aside. I mean, heck, you've already met a few humans that have already proven that they aren't like the rest of their people.
Exactly. Even some we thought might be bad eggs have turned out to just be waylaid onto the wrong path, let's say.
Even people from Black Crane aren't all bad. I mean, heck, you were friends with a Black Cranian for so long.
I mean, we still are friends with Kuro.
Yeah, I didn't mean to sound like it was past tense.
Yeah. I mean, we'll obviously need to have a discussion with him once we get him back, but, you know...
I mean, heck, once Black Crane's all dealt with, he probably won't even need to worry about that anymore. Unless a third brother turns up, but that would be stupid. I mean, at that
Seriously?
point...
Sorry.
What? No, go on,
just
say it.
Seriously, like, crossing out notes about a third brother.
Honestly, if I wanted to be extremely funny... not funny... I could do the funniest thing and that could actually be a thing, but no, I wouldn't do that. I'm not doing that to myself, most of all. As a writer and a GM, like, no. Yeah, let's just make every act have a black dragon as the final plot. Anyway. Yeah. You know, heck, by then maybe Kuro won't even need to give a fuck about who his past was. He'll just be able to live as Kurogane.
That's definitely the dream.
Well, we won't be able to live in that dream, though, unless we can deal with what we're doing. Although at the rate you guys are going at, I'm pretty confident that we should be able to deal with everything, right?
That's good. Though, hopefully when we do get to Eben, he's not gonna open with a cone of cold.
You could counterspell him, I could counterspell him, Seamus could counterspell him.
As long as he's not hiding in the back.
Who, Eben?
No, Seamus.
Oh, I mean, well, it's fine anyway. Seamus can just slap down a mass cure wounds if that's needed. If I have an inkling that he's going to cast a higher level spell, I'll just hit him with the level 9 counter spell. How's that sound?
Sounds very nice, to be fair.
There you go. Because yeah, I will be in the fight against him.
I would be worried if you weren't.
You could take him in a fight. All of you could. Not individually, obviously, but like, together you could.
Probably, but...
You could.
Yeah, I would... I'd struggle to find somebody who wouldn't feel better about having you as part of a fight.
Akhrua crosses his arms and thinks for a moment. Yeah, I can't think of anyone else.
I mean, hey, maybe we can distract him for long enough that you can sneak up on him and get him out of nowhere with the steel chair.
I'm not physically good enough to wield a steel chair. I'm dexterous. If it was like the leg of a steel chair, sure. Or if I had a moment to like channel my ki through the steel chair and wield it deftly as a monk, then sure. But a raw steel chair, I can't. A folded chair, probably, yeah.
To be
It'd be
fair,
pretty embarrassing
that's more what I was meaning, to be fair.
I mean, I invented the folding chair.
Yeah.
It would be embarrassing if I couldn't.
That's kind of why I mentioned it, but yeah.
God, it's weird to think I invented something. That was after I ended a coup by kicking someone that hard in the groin his dick was concave. The worst part is, apparently he died in the mines afterwards. And I weren't even there to see it.
Who knows? Maybe his ghost's about somewhere and you can... I don't know.
Been over 300 years. If he hasn't moved on, he needs to get a fucking grip.
I mean, I don't know about you, but if I died in a mine after having my, you know, genitals caved in, I feel like I'd have some, you know, leftover business.
I mean... True? But like... I don't know. I would just simply not get kicked in the groin that hard and then die in a mine. Like, just don't do that, you know. But then again, not most people aren't me. Sometimes I forget that. Well, I won't keep you any longer. I still have a Seamus and grandson to bother.
Yeah. I'm sure Seamus is doing nothing of consequence.
Well, like you then. And he grins at you.
It's the best day ever.
I don't suppose you have any dummies that, you know, fight back a little bit?
I won't make that joke. No.
No. Worth a try.
Akhrua does actually say that. He says, I won't make that joke. Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately we don't. The best I can do is have them regenerate and mend after taking damage.
Maybe I'll give it a little bit longer and then try and find Dire and rope them in.
Yeah, fair enough. Go for it. I'm sure Darren will appreciate it. I'm sure Darren will be ecstatic as Akhrua starts to walk away. Seamus.
Yes.
So you're playing with your instrument, right?
Yes.
And you're also, like, using your lute or your lyre?
Yeah.
Get it? Jokes, entendres. Give me a few performance rolls.
All right.
You are doing exceptional. Your time in here hasn't dulled your skills in the slightest. And yeah, you find yourself lost in the music, and as it begins to wind down, you eventually notice Akhrua was watching you. Very nice, Seamus. Very good.
Oh, thanks. Don't want to get rusty.
I get that. Sometimes it's easy to forget that we should focus on ourselves. We can't just be fighting and killing. We are more than that. That's why I like doing cooking.
Fair, yeah. Gotta have an outlet.
Yeah, I mean, well, when I fight, I try to remember to honor the lives that have been lost. Or that will be lost. You know?
Mm-hmm.
It's the same for cooking. I want to know that I am making sure that the life that is going to be used in whatever I'm eating will be given the appropriate amount of treatment and care that it should have.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that I've taught to all the kids as well at the orphanage. I want them to know that every life has its value. Even if you don't agree with that person, even if they might be the most heinous scum ever, they still have a value. That doesn't mean that their value gives them a free pass to do whatever they want. And sometimes things have to be done what need to be done. It's complicated. I was just speaking to the others earlier. Dairon said they wanted to be left alone, though.
That sounds like Dairon.
I spoke to Aldane and Felix, and you were next on my list, and then I'm going to finish off with Rua. But yeah, it's been good so far. It reminds me how fun it is to talk to people.
Talking to people is hit or miss with me. I can sing to them and play my instrument for them, no problem. Talking to them, that can sometimes go awry.
I mean, I was saying this earlier, but like, I barely spoke to people at all when I was around, well, a little younger than you. I also had a really bad problem with eye contact. But since then, I can hold conversations with people and, you know, talk about all sorts. I think a lot of it is just, sometimes people kind of need to be, they just need the right circumstances to be better at things.
Yeah, I mean, when we went to Tenoyama, that was a challenge.
I can imagine. It was scary for me when I went back home. I had to deal with the fact that from my village, I was the only wood elf left from it. You know?
Yeah.
I stood in the ashes of my home, and I could almost still remember. I say the ashes; they were long since doused, but I could almost still remember the smoke and the smell of the bodies. Not to make this too heavy, but you know, I get that feeling. You know, and I went home. I went to the kingdom that ordered the attack on my people, and you know, I managed to rope myself into a rebellion.
Sounds about right.
It almost feels like it runs in the family at this point. Who knows? But, you know, sometimes... How do I describe it? I mean, heck, from what I remember hearing about you, you actually stumbled into the others, didn't you?
More or less. Luckiest day of my life.
And that's just how it is sometimes. Sometimes the opportunities just come to you, and you have no choice but to take them, or don't, and the worst can happen. For what it's worth, you definitely did make the right choice. At least I'd like to think so. You're talking to me after all. That's not to say that I think I'm that great that that's the reason. It's more just, you know, look at how far you've come. You know, you can say you've been to the Underdark. Can anyone that you grew up with can say that?
Not that I know of, but, you know, Kuro did grow up with me. Maybe he's been there before.
From what he's told me, he never has. He did go to the Forbidden Ice at one point, though. I mean, heck, he had to somehow get all the way from the Ebony Imperium to fucking Tennoyama. That was a feat.
Oh, yeah.
And that's it as well. He recognized what was going to happen, and he took the opportunity. You know? The rest of them, you know, Dairon did what they did to get to where they are now. Aldain did what he did to get to where he is now. Same for Felix and the same for Rua. Sometimes it's nice to think about what could have been, but, you know, it doesn't change the here and now. And that also doesn't mean that, you know, you shouldn't forget the things that you've done, good or bad. Because it's not only got you to where you are now, but... how do I describe it? You can always use it as an opportunity for growth. You know, you say that you struggle to talk to people, but maybe it's more... how do I describe it? I mean, you talk to your friends well.
Yeah, when they're not busy roasting me.
They'll roast each other as well. I know what you mean, though. I mean, heck, I was kind of like that in my group.
The butt of the jokes?
Often. And if I wasn't, then, well, sometimes my own ignorance caused me to show my face. Is that the right term? You know what I mean. I hope.
I think I get enough of the gist.
I hope so. I really, really do. The thing is, though, how do I describe it? I mean, you can always tell them that you don't like it. They won't hold it against you.
Sure.
You could also say, I mean, you know, I won't presume to excuse anything, but maybe they believe you can take it. And from what I know about you, you've managed to take a lot of things. That sounds really bad, doesn't it?
I was gonna say.
You know what I mean. You've handled a lot, and that speaks to your character, your strength as a person. The fact that you were able to get out of a situation like what happened to you in Tennoyama and still be a reasonably adjusted adult is nothing short of commendable. And it's easy to forget stuff like that. You have a goal. You have passion in what you like to do. And that's good. And don't lose sight of that. As one of your fans, I would be sad if you gave up on music.
You're a fan?
He smiles at you. I mean, I wouldn't have been watching you play your music for as long as you did if I didn't like it.
I mean, yeah, as long as you're not a part of that Seamus' Schmoes group or whatever.
God, no.
Okay, good. Thank God.
I don't even see people like that anyway.
You don't know the kind of crap I've dealt with.
Did I ever tell you about the time my friends in the Wildcards paid for a lap dancer for me?
That sounds terrible.
Well, yeah, well, it was very uncomfortable. After like 15 minutes, she left and started crying. I mean, probably helps that I, like, you know, kind of correctly assessed that she was trying to do it as a means of control because she felt like she never had control all throughout her life, and it was a way to, like, rebel, and, you know, like, it was a whole thing anyway.
Whole
She ended
hullabaloo.
up becoming a nurse after it, actually.
Oh,
Very lovely lady. It's a shame she's probably long since dead. She was a human after all. But I'd like to hope that, and it's what I like to think anyway whenever I meet people, is that when I leave their lives, it's better than what it was before. And I'd like to think you're one of those people that can do that. All of you and your friends can do that. In different ways.
well, I definitely appreciate your confidence in us.
I mean, that's why I'm willing to do this training with you. I mean, heck, if I wasn't confident with you, I'd still be doing this training until I was confident in you. The thing is, I am confident in you. This is just to guarantee not only my confidence in you, but your confidence in yourselves. Which can be hard to do, honestly. It's hard to sometimes look at yourself objectively and think, I am this good. I mean, heck.
Definitely don't always feel this good.
Yeah. Sometimes it's easy to forget, especially when you're in a high intense situation. That's partly why I brought you into this domain anyway. Is that all of you can just work on who you are and be given a break. You know, even when you've only had a few weeks break in between Dracolich pieces, you still have to have that lingering threat over your head that the longer you take to have a break, the more people might get hurt. Now you've dealt with them all, so you don't even have to worry about that anymore. The only thing you have to worry about now is Kuro, and heck, it's only 2 days that'll be passing outside, so barely any time will be happening. Unless Eben decides to fast track the shit out of his stuff, but that's like... there's literally nothing we can do about that. Sometimes I wonder if I talk too much.
No.
I just learn to sort of stop caring sometimes with some people. I'm not to say that I don't care about talking to you guys, it's more just, you know. It doesn't help that I'm small, I'm not very threatening looking, unless I'm like caked in blood. Most people will just underestimate me, even now. To be fair, I want that. I don't want people to be scared of me when they look at me most of the time. But that's another time. I just thought I'd check in on you all. Hope you continue to enjoy doing your music, Seamus, or whatever else you do with your day. Until then, I will see you later.
Thanks, Akhrua. Appreciate the pep talk.
No problem. And as he leaves you, how do I describe it? Eventually, about an hour passes for you all. And you know around now is the time that you'd be getting your last meal of the day. What do you all decide to do?
Am I assuming that Felix did find me?
Give me a perception check, Felix. And if you want to not be found, Dairon, give me a stealth.
I'm not doing a stealth.
Felix, perception. Mel?
I would say after like 20 minutes, Felix would have just cast sending and asked Darren if they were, where they were and if they were okay to train together, sort of thing.
I mean, we can do that before then.
So as long as Darren's okay with it, yeah, we can have been training together.
How do you think Akhrua and Rua's talk went?
Well, Akhrua seemed a lot more willing to attack Rua today, so probably decently.
So I will say you've noticed during the month and a half, Akhrua, because he would have been doing sparring anyway, but this would have been the first he's actually using stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is the first, real spar. Before, it would have just been, quick training bouts.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's not like he hasn't been willing to hit Rua. So, yeah, more just to make things more clear and, for the sake of not not that it's your fault that you aren't informed. More just, so you know.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, Rua will probably be feeling a bit down on himself about getting taken out so quickly, so probably be getting a pep talk.
Yeah. I feel that.
Wow, I'm not sure there's a huge amount we can do if we get hit with a stronger cone of cold as that was.
Yeah. No, but we can, like you said, we can mitigate it.
If nothing else, we hopefully won't have to worry about Eben doing that, because if nothing else, we'll have Akhrua there with us. So
small victories.
Yeah.
Have you talked to your parents recently, or?
Not really, no. It's one of those things of we've been busy. Obviously, once we left Tennoyama, it was I could be sending
go
letters,
time.
but yeah, it's maybe something to do once we've come back from Black Rain.
Yeah. I actually sent a letter to the old gang.
Have you gotten a reply yet?
No. I'm not sure I will. I'm honest.
Well, maybe
most I'll probably put is a knife in the stomach. Honest.
Maybe once this is all over and done with, we can track some of the nicer ones down.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a lot of stuff we can do once this is all over and we don't have to worry about a ancient black dragon trying to take over the world.
Yeah.
Though, of course, we still have the Cult of the Tarrasque to worry about, but
there's always something.
Who knows?
So, do you all gather together where you normally would?
Yeah.
Sure.
So, as you all gather together, you notice Akhrua and Rua are actually there. Do you decide to look for them?
Might as well.
All of you give me perception as you look around. It's not a big area, so you don't have to look too hard, but
Oh.
Aldane, you are locked the fuck in. Reading medical books has enhanced your perception. Why not?
Hmm.
So, as the four of you investigate the area, Darren and Daldane, you hear the sounds of like combat. The four of you come to a clearing in the area that you're in, and you see Akhrua and Rua in the middle of like sparring with each other. It's interesting though, because you can tell like even though Akhrua isn't going all out, he's still moving faster than what most of you could really handle. And you notice Rua's actually like doing pretty well, like managing. You notice like even Rua's like getting a couple of like maybe not necessarily always clean hits, but like good enough that he's still keeping up. And you can tell neither of them are like saying a word to each other. They're just in the zone with each other. Neither of them are doing anything with like their abilities. Neither of them are using like ki or energy or anything. They're just good martial arts. Obviously, it's a bit more dynamic than an actual martial arts fight because they're not. This is Dungeons and Dragons and stuff.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it's really like interesting just to watch them both. You can really tell how like, even though Rua didn't have Akhrua very long in his life and still hasn't really, you can really tell like the fundamentals of his martial arts are extremely similar to his granddad's.
Mm-hmm.
Like they just fight very similar. There's different things that set them apart. Like you notice, because like Rua's actually a little bit shorter than his granddad, but Rua's more. What's the word? He's got more muscles to him, and I said muscles. Rua's got more muscles to him, so he fights like the best way to describe it is Akhrua uses like overwhelming speed and force to just smash through people. Whereas Rua uses his strength to kind of like punch through things better. Rua's still quick, but obviously he's not on Akhrua's level yet, and there are just fundamentally slightly different things about the way they fight. But you can clearly see like the formation of Rua's like way that he fights. And it gets to the point where in the end, because this is going on for like a few minutes, like you just watch them for a few minutes, and they were clearly at this way before you even got there, and eventually it concludes with Akhrua sweeping Rua and catching him before he like hits the ground, and the two of them just stare at each other, clearly like smiling and happy, before they both glance in your direction, noticing you all.
It's time to eat.
Oh shit, it really is. They both say almost like at the same time. And they both look at each other for a moment and chuckle. And they walk back with you. As you're walking back, Akhrua just says, "This one," as he like gently nudges Rua, "decided to just throw a punch at me. Can you believe that?"
Yes.
After the talk we had, Felix. Wow.
I was,
You know what?
honestly, it was more a shot at Rua's personality than it was yours.
You know what, Felix? I hope both sides of your pillow are warm tonight.
Be careful, I think he actually might do it.
What's that?
Oh, I like warm both sides of the pillow.
I'll just prestidigitation it back being cool.
Then I'll just do it while you're asleep.
I don't sleep.
When you You know what I meant? I just call it sleep because I actually get in a bed and rest on a pillow like most people do that aren't elves.
I mean, that is also the other thing. I don't lie down.
Which is weird. Why would you rest like that? Don't your knees get uncomfortable?
Not really.
Ugh. Strange. Imagine trancing like that. Couldn't be me. Then again, I was raised to actually trance like that. Anyway, not the point. As I was saying, yeah, Rua threw a punch at me and we just decided to start sparring. We've been at it for a while. He was doing really well though. He looks to Rua. You don't even need to roll an insight, but you can clearly tell the pride in Akhrua as he's like talking to you about this. But that's kind of the thing with Akhrua. He's so open with how he feels, you rarely if ever need to do an insight check.
Yeah.
And yeah, as you sort of like gather together and have the last meal of the day, I'm going to call it a session.
Alright.
Yep.
Thank you.
So that is where we are ending for today. So thank you everybody for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed. In terms of future stuff, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday and Sunday as always. Trying to think of anything else. No. Please do obviously give us a follow here on Twitch and all that YouTube stuff.
Like, subscribe, comment down below, bell icon, etc.
Do it or Akhrua will make your sides of the pillow both warm.
And you won't have prestidigitation to fix it. Otherwise, hopefully we'll see you on Tuesday. And otherwise, good night.
All right.
Later.